before we get started, who in the room are awesome admins? Awesome admins, put your hands up. Great, you're in the right place. Developers out there, do we have developers in the room? Power leaders, or power users, leaders. All right, cool. We've got a lot of folks in here who get the work done, so you're in the right place. My name is Brandon Walton. Today's session is Prompt Builder 101. This is all about laying the foundation to get started with prompts in Agentforce. We're going to be talking about Prompt Builder, and we're going to go through a specific scenario today where we are going to enhance a prompt using Prompt Builder. Forward-looking statement. So I don't work for Salesforce, I work for a partner. I don't have access to all of the fancy special stuff that hasn't been released yet, like some of the other great things that you've been seeing at TDX. What we are going to show is things that you have access to. However, everyone's org is different. So what the forward-looking statement is all about is making sure that you're making purchasing decisions off of things that are available to you and your org. So I'm going to share information with you from things that I've learned, but always do your own research on your own, jump in trails, build out your POCs, and make educated purchasing decisions. Secondly, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day, taking time out of this busy conference to join me here. If you're streaming online, thank you for taking time out to join and learn about prompt building here today. So here's our agenda for Prompt Builder 101. We're going to talk about prompts in Agentforce first, and the different ways that we can work with prompts in Agentforce. Secondly, we're going to talk specifically about working with Prompt Builder. We're going to have a scenario where we are going to enhance the out-of-the-box Agentforce capabilities using some Prompt Builder functionality. And then we're going to talk about how we structure those prompts in a way to make sure that we are getting consistent results that we can rely on. Okay, part one, prompts for Agentforce. So if you haven't already, some organizations already have enabled the Agentforce features, but you can get started with Agentforce for free with Salesforce Foundations. So you can use the link above to access Salesforce Foundations and learn about how you can add this SKU onto your org. As an implementation partner, I take a crawl, walk, run approach to implementing AI. So crawl is just turning on the free stuff, the basic stuff, enabling it for your internal users, your power users. And then we can take some of the basics that we learned from enabling it for internal users before we deploy it to the public. So I would encourage you to start taking a look at, one, whether or not you already have it available for your Salesforce organization. And if you don't, start taking a look at some of the ways that you can get access to it. To activate Agentforce inside of your org, if you are an admin, like a lot of you put your hands up as admins, you'll just search for Foundations in your admin setup panel, and then you'll have the option to review adding it to your contract. Again, review it with your leadership team before you make any of these decisions, but as of now, it is a free SKU that you can add at no additional cost, and that's going to give you access to the basic Agentforce features and capabilities. Secondly, for developers, for admins, for power users. If you've been attending many of these sessions, you are probably seeing this as well. Your workflow is evolving. A long time ago, for those who have been in the ecosystem for 15 or more years, we were writing Apex, we were writing Visualforce pages, things like that. Then we moved into this world of clicks, not code. Flows became amazing. Over the last couple of years, flows have become awesome, and you could do anything with them, where you don't need to understand how to write Apex to do a lot of things in flows. Now, where things are moving, and we can just take a look around, is we're moving from clicks to prompts. So where the platform is evolving is in a direction where you as an admin, or even you as a developer, you don't have to go through an interface and click and add a bunch of if this, then that statement and logic and write these loops and complicated things. We're just going to have conversations with Agentforce and be able to build stuff. So what we need to be able to do and what we need to be able to understand, just like if we're managing a new employee, is how we manage our agents, how we put in good prompts so we can get consistent results that we have confidence in. So let's talk about the different ways today that we use prompts in Salesforce. First, which we're going to be focusing on in today's presentation, is Prompt Builder. Prompt Builder is where we create prompts that then get used downstream in our agent builder that eventually our users and customers will have access through Agentforce. Second is Agent Builder. Agent Builder also has prompts. It's going to be able to leverage prompts that we create in Prompt Builder on top of adding instructions, descriptions, scope, and role to Agent Builder itself. We're not going to go into Agent Builder today, but there are tons of trails and mini camps here today that you can use to learn more about how to use Agent Builder and learn how the RAG engine works and all that fun, complicated stuff that you see, and you're like, wow, I want to be able to do that. And then finally, Agentforce. Agentforce is the interface that we make available to our customers, to our employees, so that they can actually interact with the cool things that we're building and get great results using conversation. And again, today, we're really going to be talking about Prompt Builder, the first step. So, working with and understanding Prompt Builder. Who here has been working with Prompt Builder and has built prompts already? Okay, good. Not a lot of people, so hopefully this is going to be a good, meaningful session for you. So let's get acquainted with Prompt Builder. Some key terms that you want to become familiar with is a prompt template. This is going to store information about what we're going to allow the specific prompt to do. The prompt template type is going to define what kind of resources and usage we'll be able to do with the prompts. The workspace, that's where all the magic happens. That's where we're going to build our prompts, define what the prompts are going to do, and actually do some instruction to our AI. Resources are where we're able to pull in data from Salesforce and resources from Salesforce. A lot of the other presentations that you'll see on prompt building in Agentforce really leverage different resources to bring those prompts to life. And then we also have the option to choose models. You can choose OpenAI models. You can configure your models in Salesforce now and build your own custom models. A lot of flexibility that you'll have as an admin to build out your prompts. Again, today we're just going to keep it very simple. We're going to go with what you get out of the box and what kind of results you can get, even if you don't know how to design and modify your own custom models. All right, so before we get into this, let's jump into our org. So here's our challenge. Agentforce today, if you were here 6 months ago when Agentforce just got started, Agentforce out of the box in February 2025 is able to do a lot more than what it was able to do even in September. So as a user of Agentforce, I can say, show me all open opportunities by amount. Agentforce is going to query our CRM data. Again, I'm not connecting this to any data cloud or anything. I've just turned on the agent and it can query the information that I have access to, do research, and show me some results. Awesome. Now again, without programming any custom agent actions or doing any fancy stuff with data cloud, I've got the ability to view these opportunities, and I also have the ability to summarize my highest value opportunity. That's pretty valuable stuff. So let's see what Agentforce is going to return for us when we ask it to summarize the opportunity. Okay, I like that. It's giving me some information about the account, about the opportunity stage, what the expected amounts are, things like that. But let's say we want to beef this up a little bit. And two, let's say we want to provide this as a field directly on an opportunity that we can leverage down the road. And that's what we're going to do today in our prompt builder. So again, this is our prompt builder workspace. This is where we're going to write our prompt. These are the resources. This is where we're going to grab dynamic data to feed into our prompt. This is where we configure our prompts here. So you can see we're going to select a standard model. We're going to use ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo. And down below is where we can preview our model. So I encourage you to go on your own, whether it's in Trailhead, whether it's your own org, and get familiarized with Prompt Builder. All right, so now let's talk about how we are going to structure our prompts to be successful and get us the results that we want. Let's enhance that opportunity prompt. So structuring our prompt for success, how do we do it? There are 5 attributes of an agent, 5 attributes of making a good prompt. 1, we need to make sure that we are providing instructions so that agent knows what its role is. Agent, your job is to provide me an excellent sales summary. Your job is to be my sales assistant and provide me the information I need to summarize my opportunities so I can take it to a manager, so I can write a sales email, whatever that might be. Data is the next part. And again, the beautiful thing about where we're able to get started today is this data doesn't necessarily need to be from a complex data cloud integration. Data cloud does expand your world tremendously, but we can do a lot of great things just leveraging our CRM data. So again, leveraging that resource that we just shared is going to be the next step, how we pull in data to that prompt. Actions, what we are going to allow our prompt to do, what we're going to allow our agent to do. And then, very important if you've written prompts before, is guardrails. What specific things do we not want our agent to do? Guardrails are very important. And then finally, channels. So we talked about those 3 channels up above. As this AI world progresses, there will be more channels, there will be more ways that individuals are interacting with our AI. So we want to be able to define in our prompt what channels it's going to be used for. Okay, so first, we're back in our prompt builder. We're going to give it some instructions. So this is just a very simple instruction, but I want you to think about what your prompt is going to be. Right now we say you are in sales support role for the organization name. That bolded organization.name is dynamic data that we pulled in from that resource. So we can fill it in with additional information. You are in a sales support role for our organization. Your job is to provide summaries of information that will be useful to our sales and sales management team. Might be an example. So the first thing that we want to do when we're crafting our prompts is give it very specific information on who that agent is. We want to give it an identity, a role, a purpose, so it knows what it's looking to do every single time. And it's a best practice to start with that role. Then we're going to be able to use our resources, so from our resources tab, to access dynamic data. One of the really great things about leveraging Agentforce and using Prompt Builder is the dynamic data that we're pulling in is going to be controlled by our permission sets. So if Brandon as a user is trying to access some information that I shouldn't have access to, the permissions are already built in. So if we were to go and try to build all this stuff on our own and we were going to send this information out into ChatGPT, we don't have that trust layer, right? We're either sending information out to an external learning model all the risks that come with that and pulling it back in. With what we're able to do with dynamic data using resources is we know that only users that have access to this information are going to be able to see this information when we eventually generate our summary here. So you can see here in the example, we have our opportunity fields, we have the relational information. Similar to if you were using flows, we can pull in not only opportunity information, but also records related to those opportunities as well. So with our data down here, what we see is we've actually reserved a specific data section for our prompt. I like to put these at the bottom of the prompt. And we have a record snapshot. So when you use your resources, you're going to have access to what's called a record snapshot. That thing is awesome. It just pulls in all of the top-level information about your record. We also want to get a snapshot of the account related to the opportunity. So we're going to beef up our opportunity summary by also looking at the account related to the opportunity. And then we're also able to look up information related to the account cases as well. So we can pull in the related list information about any open cases related to this account. We're going to pull in information about opportunity roles. And we're also going to pull in information about the account contacts. So from this prompt, again, we don't need to search a bunch of different places for Salesforce. The idea is we're going to use this summary prompt to give us all the information we need about this opportunity, including cases that are open on the account level, including contact roles and other contacts within the account. Next step is actions. So we're going to provide some actions that we want the prompt to do. One, it's already defined in our prompt type, right? This prompt already knows that its job is to generate a field for us. We're going to create some guidelines and actions. Your goal is to summarize the record and provide insights that'll be useful for converting this opportunity into a sale. Next, we're going to talk about guardrails, and guardrails are important. Guardrails are where you're likely going to spend most of your time crafting your prompts, because when you first create your prompt, you're going to test it, and it might thank you for asking it a question, so we're going to put in some specific guardrails to make sure that it's going to give us the results that we want. So what we have here is, when you're referring to the summarized records, don't include articles such as the or any other determiners. Don't say the account nor the record is an account. Just tell us what the account is. The account is Salesforce. We're also going to include, in this field particularly, this is a rich text field, so we can use some formatting guidelines. So when it displays information, we want it to display as a hyperlink. So we're going to share those specific instructions so that when it's returning data for our users, they can just click on that information and go directly to that record. We're going to include some specific activities that we want to make sure that are included. So again, these guardrails are going to really define the results that we're going to get from our prompt. And we're telling it specifically what not to do. Make the summary concise. Each section should contain 2 to 3 sentences max. We don't want to get too lengthy in our summary here. And then because this summary does include HTML, we're going to include some HTML guardrails as well. So let's take a look at the results that we're going to get from our prompt. And then I'm going to give you a tip to really just make this whole entire thing easy if you're feeling a little overwhelmed. So now we've created a custom field. It's called Einstein Summary here. And once we pop into Einstein, it said, here's what I've come up with, and it's given us a big, long opportunity review, much more than we had before. It's going to share that directly into that opportunity overview field. And now we got not only our opportunity information, but we got information about the account snapshot, open cases, the activities, the contacts, recent purchases, and recommended next steps, all within a single field from our awesome prompt. So let me give you a tip. Salesforce has made this job really easy for us. We don't need to start from scratch anymore. So the prompt that we created today, we can take, so when you enable your Agentforce, you're going to get some pre-built prompts. We can use the record summary prompt, and the record summary prompt is going to give us a lot of great stuff to start with. Now, it doesn't give us all the specific details of what we want to do in our opportunity summary, or maybe we're going to be doing some other kind of summary, maybe on a custom object. But it's just as simple as copying what we want in this workspace here, taking it to our own opportunity summary, pasting it in, and then modifying it to fit our specific needs. So again, Salesforce makes it really easy, and it seems like every month these types of things are getting easier and easier to do. So my advice, let's see if I have it on this slide, if I did a good, oh, you know what, it's back over here. All right, so my advice is, 1, turn it on. Whether that's turning it on in a trail or turning on some basic things inside of your org and only giving permissions to a couple of users, turn it on and start using it. When we're writing our prompts, write your prompts for specific use cases. That's going to help you out. Rather than trying to have a single thing do too much, get very specific in the role and the job of the AI in that specific prompts. Leverage dynamic data. If you've been building flows and you're building reports off of the relational database, that really helps and that really provides a benefit in building our AI. Build upon existing prompts. Explore what Salesforce gives you out of the box. You don't need to start from scratch. It really is going to help you accelerate your skills extremely fast because that formula, that template is already there for you to improve and enhance upon. And then finally, leverage the Agent Blazor community. It's growing very, very quickly. There's already tons of great ideas and questions being asked in the community, and there are new resources becoming available all the time. The Salesforce admin resources now are really tailored towards Agentforce content. So if you are an admin, even if you are a developer, there's some great resources to not only have access to admin information, but a lot of this admin information is being geared towards Agentforce and Agentforce content. Agentforce Decoded is a YouTube channel where you can get up to speed with a lot of things that are going on with Agentforce, a lot of awesome creations that are going on with Agentforce. Again, as you start getting comfortable with the basics and you want to learn how to take it to the next level, Agentforce Decoded is an excellent channel for that. And then again, if you want to reach out to me with questions, you can use that QR code to get access to the page. We'll have this deck available, as well as my other deck on getting started with Agentforce, how to join the Agentforce community, how to become an agent champion, and then how to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you all for attending my session. And if this was useful, please provide your feedback. It really helps us make sure that we are creating content tailored to awesome admins and awesome trailblazers and developers like you all. Thank you very much, and happy trailblazing.